he sand him down pretty well. I feel like a mad scientist.
YouTube, what's happening? I want to show you Cyborg Spider-Man. Please bear with me because I have a lot to talk about on this one. This might take me a couple minutes to actually run through on how I executed this figure. This is Cyborg Spider-Man from the Spiderverse. If you guys are not familiar with them, I'll put a couple reference pictures.
Dollars, that's what everybody needs, huh? Obvious, honey, money is a pleaser. Do whatever just to get a little cheese, huh? New shoes, new clothes, and a visa.
I first was introduced to this character reading the Spiderverse comics, and I liked the way he was introduced. He was running in a train station and then bumped into Karn, which was the exiled brother from the Inheritors, I think they're called. He caught Spider-Man, he stabbed him in the back with his weapon that he killed a bunch of other Spider-Men with. But he didn't die. He actually has a sonic blaster in his back and shot Karn right in the face and then transformed into a full cyborg. And it looked dope when I first saw it. You know, I got a comic here I can just kind of show you really quick. You know, he got stabbed in the back. That little thing came, the little sonic cannon came out, blasted him, and he transformed fully. And that was kind of what the inspiration was for this figure. It's a really good comic. This is Superior Spider-Man 33, part of the Spiderverse, the Edge of the Spiderverse. So if you're interested, pick it up. There's a couple cool spiders in there. And so before I made this, I was kind of just contemplating it. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to execute it the way the comic has it. So I kind of hesitated for a while, and I posted it up on the Fighterbox page. And one of the administrators told me to go for it. The problem was that I did the body without the head. I didn't know what to do with the head. And I'll pull it up. So what I had to do for this figure, Spider Carnage hand, War Machine body, and this gun is from Nuke. Nuke's gun I cut halfway down, a little more than halfway, and then sculpted the arm. For me, the minute I had it in my hand, I kind of saw Cyborg Spider-Man. I just had to shave off the armor that War Machine had, and it's the same War Machine that Iron Patriot is, if you ask. But it's the older one that it's the same body Patriot is on. I forgot what series he's from. Hulkbuster maybe. I took War Machine. I sanded down some of the armor on the legs. I took off the armor that kind of went over these ankles, and I just sanded down the best as I could. I know it's kind of rough around here, but it doesn't bother me. So that's what I did. I just sanded down the armor, took the knee caps off, because these, you know, if you're familiar with War Machine, he has those knee cuffs. So I don't know what you call them. Knee shields. They're like knee guards, knee pads or whatever. So when you bend the knee, they'll like stick up. I had to just get rid of it. And I kind of sanded down the crotch area. There might have been some design work, but I sculpted the front down, not so much the back. I was thinking about engraving how it looked in the comic, but I didn't want to go that far. The reason why I use this figure is when you compare him to the comic, even without sanding down the body, I took the torso area. You see how his torso has the pecs, then like this mid area, and then this bottom piece. There's like 3 panels, 1, 2, 3. I feel like that is just what War Machine has. It's pretty perfect. I had to sculpt these lines. These lines weren't in there. I didn't sculpt it. I just, when I was sanding, I made sure to kind of like sand that line in there. Then I sanded down that little arc reactor War Machine has. I cut off half of this, not half of it, but a piece of the shoulder pads, because I wasn't sure if I was going to keep these. I was debating on removing these shoulder pads just to see if it would look more comic accurate. But I wasn't sure if that would make a difference. When I took off the shoulder pads on the Bulletproof Spider-Man, it kind of made him look, I don't know, skinny on the arms and then kind of big at the chest area and stuff. So I think with this, it makes him look kind of more beefy and brolic. Looks more like he's supposed to look like. I left this. I kind of sanded down these a bit. You can see the designs aren't on it from what War Machine has. This gun right here. This is Nuke's gun. I don't have a picture of Nuke's gun completely. I was gonna use it for a Scorn figure, and I ended up trading it for a piece of Spider-Man recently. What I did was just cut the gun off to about maybe here. Then I cut the forearm. I have some pictures of the forearm and me sculpting the arm and stuff. Here's some pictures if you want to take a look.
What they all want, what they all need. She want, he want, they want, we want.
So what you just saw was me attaching the gun to the arm and the sculpt work around it to kind of hide, you know, the connection. Did a good job in blending the gun to the arm. I don't think you can really tell where it separates unless you really like inspect it, then you will know. It does move. It's not restricted. It does move, does not flake, it will not rub. This goes up a bit. So with the back, right, what I did was, I did have a sonic cannon for him. So it has that sonic cannon that he has in the comic. It's not exactly, and it doesn't have the spider logo. I was thinking about using these panels back here to make them look like they're opening up, to create some type of thing that looks like that, but that would have been too difficult. I don't know if I had the skill for that right now. So I just simplified it and then just attached this gun, and I kind of made it look like the Y shape to his back and his spine, where it's kind of like an exoskeleton kind of thing. Back has its spider webs. I had to remove those ankle guards because they wouldn't allow me to bend the ankles properly. This sucks because it doesn't have any ankle pivot. I wanted to use Iron Man. I was thinking how to swap these thighs to get Iron Man in, but they wouldn't pop out. So I didn't want to risk breaking it and just kept it the way it was. Ben Reilly hand, Spider Carnage. This hand fits pretty well inside. You just got to snip down a little bit. I'm not going to pull it out, too much trouble. It just pop off and on really easy, like an interchangeable hand does. Not like the War Machine. You have to kind of heat up the War Machine hand for it to come out. This pops off pretty easy. See this square piece on the shoulder? I shaved off one on the right side. Problem was that the closer I got to a flat, like a flat level, a small tiny hole appeared, and I felt like the more I shaved, this would have just been really hollow, and it would have been broken. I would have had to sculpt it to seal it. So I left it like that. I was supposed to sculpt a little piece over it. I just forgot. I've been playing with this, bringing it with me in the car. So there's a little paint rub right there, actually. Paint rub. Ah, we got him. We got him. Paint rub. Paint rub. He said there's no paint rub, and there it is. There it is. Yeah, that happens. That's probably from that right there. That's exactly where that's from. Now this head is a beauty, I think anyway. I think it could be better, but for what it is, I'm pretty impressed with it. What I did was just take the War Machine open mask, I snipped the mask off, and then I kind of sanded down the face a little bit. The eyes. I left the bottom jaw area because this was pretty defined. So I left the bottom, I just kind of sanded the front face down and the top of the head. So it was at a slant. I think I have a picture of it. Here's a pic.
Bread got cheese like a pizza, except nobody cut the pie. Bought a Aston Martin, customizing, you the witness. Go on, testify, they want more.
So I did that. When I sanded that down, I was worried. I didn't know if I would be able to kind of do all this in one sculpting session, because I use JB Weld. I don't use Avs epoxy. I would like to use Avs. I have never tried it. I see the results on a lot of other customizers, and it looks impressive. So I might have to use Avs, but JB Weld is affordable, and it's pretty accessible when you go to Walmart. Avs isn't. You have to order it online or find a store. I don't know what store to get it in. I sculpted over here to give it this curved line. It was actually up more at the time, so I can, you know, play with what was under here for a while. Then I sculpted this little circle ball. It was just a big ball first, and then I took a pin and then, you know, defined it a line around it as best as I could. And that's why this flap had to remain up, so I can take that needle and just flatten around it. You can see that in here it isn't the best. See that the needle wasn't as perfect when it got inside those. It's kind of creased. It's hard to tell. Like there it's kind of perfect, but in there it's kind of creased. But anyway, then I took the spider eye, and I noticed after I did it, it's more straight. Where mine is at an angle. This is more, but it's okay. It's okay. It's not bad. And then I had that green dot. The green dot you see was not in the picture that we just saw, but there are some other pics I'm gonna go through just to reference as to why he looks the way he does. Because there's only I'm limited to reference pics. There's not too many. So he has those dots and the green dot. These dots, they're red on his face, but they're yellow on another picture. And the gun is kind of resembled a little bit. Nuke's gun kind of works really well with this without any modification. So if you have a Nuke gun at home and you're thinking about making one of these guys, now you know what you can use it for. This head is pretty cool though. I gotta say I like it. Those 4 dots aren't sculpted, they're just painted in there. They're just painted inside. I painted this like jaw flapping thing. I kind of try to paint it the best I can. Made it the chrome on the inside of it, red on the outside of it. I like how I did the line on the jaw because it kind of gave it that more pop definition. But yeah, the head does come off, and I was thinking about giving him the other head, just keeping it full, and then giving 2 eyes like this or something, and maybe giving him an alternate head as well. Because as far as accessories goes, he only has that sonic cannon. I was kind of worried, thinking about I wasn't going to make him right. And again, there's so many pictures. Here's another one I want to show you real quick. I kind of used this for a reference too. This was one that I was trying to mimic as best as I could. But there's so many open flaps around that mouth. I felt like if I modified this chin area on War Machine, it would have been a disaster playing with JB Weld. Because if you guys are not familiar with JB Weld, it's very soft. It's like, I don't know, it's not like Play-Doh, like I assume Avs is. JB Weld is very dangerous. You have to wear gloves every time you use it. When it's still kind of wet and you start imprinting your lines, it kind of wants to fall back into like a liquid form. So a lot of your lines and your definition will kind of fade away. So you got to go back to it and touch up the line again until the sculpt epoxy kind of hardens up. And when the epoxy fully hardens up, you know, you can just define it one last time completely, and then you know you're done. And that's why I kept this flap up and then sanded down the connection pieces so you wouldn't tell where the seams were. If you want to know where the seams are, I'll tell you. Right where this jaw is to here is a seam. The top of this head, right in between this, you can see it right there at that shine on the left. That seam right there in between the 2 webs, seams from there. It's hard to really tell though. I shouldn't give this away, but I want to tell you because sometimes things happen. I'm not perfect. So there's a comparison between Iron Patriot and War Machine, which is now CYBORG Spider-Man. I just wanted to have them side by side for a few seconds just so you can kind of see the modifications that I did do for them. Now you can see that I had to sculpt out all that flat surface and then make some new surfaces, but a lot of it is the same. I sculpted off the shoulder pads, the boots, knee guard. I was trying to explain to you earlier. Let me know what you guys think. Again, thank you all for coming out to another 978 Customs, and I look forward to seeing you again. Peace.
What they all want, what they all need. She want, he want.